All right, hello wine drinking people. Time for more of what I've had to drink yesterday. And, we have an open door policy here at the Wine Watch for people that would like to show us wine. All you have to do is make an appointment, and we're willing to see 3 suppliers a day. Well, and if I don't have any appointments on the calendar and you just happen to walk in that day, like these guys from this small Italian import and distribution company, well, I'll taste your wine. I mean, hey, that's why I got this job, so I could drink while I'm at work. And just so happens I had no appointments on this day, and these guys walked in, and hey, we have a bunch of great wine from a small producers that we buy the whole of production. Would you like to try them? And I said, well, I mean, I don't have anything else on the schedule. I guess so. This is my job. The most important part of it, I like to say, is tasting wine, and you never know what you're going to find. And a few things I saw in their box I recognized, like the Tinazzi winery, like the first wine here, the Pinot Grigio Ista from the Veneto here, and a fresh and clean style of Pinot Grigio, flowers, a little peared apple fruit, a hint of ginger spice there, a light and refreshing wine on the palate, some nice tree fruit, pretty floral notes, whetstone, a real crowd pleaser style, and a very good little Pinot Grigio for $15. A lot of good Pinot Grigio for short money. It's a cheap date. The Malgra Arnais Bassiano is up next, and this is a small winery. Like I said, all these wineries supposedly they represent are very small, and this wine's got a nice pleasant nose of tree fruit, bit of a seashell kind of character, lemon and green apple, a dry but refreshing wine on the tongue with that lemon, citrus, and green apple fruit showing through, along with the light briny nuance, leaving the tongue salivating for food. Another very good wine here, and $22.50, so reasonably priced for Arnais. And then the next one, the Pakravan Papi Prunice from Tuscany, and this is made in the village of Reparbella, around 50 miles from the sea. It's a tiny producer again, and blend of Sangiovese and Cabernet Sauvignon. This wine's got a good amount of kind of earth to it, some of that underbrush and herbal sage notes you get from Tuscan wines, a hint to the sea because of its proximity there, to the black cherry and currant berry fruit, cigar box spice. Good amount of juicy fruit on the tongue, that cherry and currant showing through with round tannins. Really nice and refreshing style of red here with spice notes through the finish. An excellent little bottle of wine. It's $17.25. Now, these guys had my interest at this point. The Fiori di Santa Croce, Primitivo de Manduria. This is, well, I say it's similar to Zinfandel, the genetic makeup, but I don't know. To me, this wine tastes very different, this varietal does. It's one of the labels from the Tinazzi family, and in a very big bottle. Well, these guys are very impressed with glass for some reason, and I do not like these big bottles. I'd much like to see all the effort go into the wine. Anyways, a burly wine with blackberry, huckleberry, kind of liqueur-like fruit, toasty oak spice, fresh plowed earth, fairly complex bouquet there, bitter cocoa, some animal notes, some nice complexity here, big and chewy on the tongue with lots of jammy fruit, some firm tannins. That's the reason why this doesn't remind me of Zinfandel very much. It's got a little more backbone to it, a bit of chalky dryness at the end, but lots of everything to balance out here. Bitter cocoa, some of those animal notes coming through at the end. Excellent juice at $22.50. And then the Tinazzi Valpolicella Ripassa, Monte de Rocchi. And this is it's one of their top wineries here. This is a blend of the 3 traditional varietals, and a really pretty floral bouquet to this wine, typical of wines from this region, that sweet cherry fruit, some tobacco spice, notes of wild herbs, and that clay-like minerality that I get out of wines from the Valpolicella region. A very smooth wine on the tongue with a thick layer of that cherry liqueur-like fruit, sweet tobacco spice, pretty floral notes through the finish. Nice spice and freshness here. Excellent juice, again, at $28.50 for a Ripasso Valpolicella. That's not bad. Then the Pakravan Papi Cancelai di Rapparabella, a unique Tuscan blend here with Cabernet and Cabernet Franc. And this wine's name refers to the gate that's in front of the winery. 2,000 to 3,000 bottles produced. Very small production wine. Let me tell you, very impressed with the first wine from this, and even more impressed with this wine from this property here. This wine has got an intense bouquet of fresh black earth, truffle, black currants, cherry, dark spices, mocha. Really nice complexity here on the nose, and this wine opening up and just as good, if not better, on the second day. And it's made by one of the, not winemakers, but enologists at Sassicaia, a woman, and a big and chewy wine on the tongue. That Cabernet Franc's got a lot of tannins, but lots of fruit as well. Dark currants and cassis with dried violet, floral notes, and herbs, and really nice long finish. This wine's very balanced. I would imagine it's going to age for at least up to a decade in your cellar. For $28.50, this is most Excellent juice. All right, the Malgra Barbera di Asti Superiore Guyana is up next. This is a single vineyard Barbera, and there's some barrique used here. You get a little of that spice on the nose, to that pretty floral, and the black truffle earthy notes there as well. Black cherry fruit, really nice intensity, but very forward and seductive here. A good amount of sweet berry fruit on the tongue with fine silky tannins. Barbera doesn't have that big tannin that Nebbiolo does, but it does have a wonderful firm hand of acidity there, and echoing that floral and earth nuance and that spice through the finish. Excellent juice at 23 1/4. All right, then the Barolo from Malgra up next, and they said it was from vineyards close to Serralunga. When I asked them what village, the vineyards came from, hey, you know a lot about Italian wine. Yes, there's 11 villages in Barolo, and most people have it on the bottle. This one didn't say it, and he said it was a blend of different vineyard sites. Anyways, this producer's been in business for 75 years. The wine's got a good amount of spice. This 8 vintage, a very classic vintage for the Piedmont, to the red cherry berry fruit, pretty floral notes, some notes of truffle and tar-like spice there. Really nice minerality on the nose there. A classic vintage, like I said, showing the wonderful freshness on the tongue with fine tannins and a long finish. Notes of that flowers, truffle, and spice there. An excellent little Barolo at $40.50. Everything these guys had in the bag. Really good juice, man. And that's what I had to drink with our new friends from Italy, from Rome. I'm your host, Andrew Lamposoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying, remember, always drink the good stuff first.